All right, I'm going to have a look at TRVL first. So after my video yesterday, we had a little bit of defense. I saw a little bit of defending here on TRVL. I'll show you what I mean. You see here these flat lines, they're limit orders. Yeah, so you can clearly see that some people are putting limit orders and they're trying to just absorb the price. And ultimately what happens is eventually here, these are market orders. Ideally, people need to continue putting limit orders because you do market orders and when people sell, there's still not enough liquidity to hold the price up. And so naturally, we need limit orders to absorb the price. And the more we get that, the more buoyant this is going to be. Once the limit orders are done, if people decide to sell, the price will drop like you see. Eventually, you need to absorb the selling. Now, I'm not suggesting people do this if they can't. Ultimately, we need the market to prove itself. Yeah. If TRVL hasn't got the capability of holding these prices, then fundamentally it comes down to not enough demand right now to take this up. Okay. I think going down is a little bit weak. Yeah, and we have to see if we have a buy up after that. Everything's got everything to do with Bitcoin. Yeah, so naturally if people start seeing Bitcoin pump, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get people buy again. Yeah, and it's going to happen with all the altcoins. Once people are confident that Bitcoin is now going up, everything here changes. So what we're seeing here is a reaction to Bitcoin and Bitcoin's weakness. And so actually the market sentiment is weak. There's not enough strength yet in this project on its own to hold for higher prices on its own. So we're still quite dependent on the wider crypto market. Maybe that's going to change in the future. In the future, I can envisage a future where every day we're processing hundreds and hundreds of transactions. And there's going to be a real world value correlation between TRVL, between real world bookings and TRVL. That one, then you break the correlation with, you don't break the correlation with Bitcoin, but you are able then to defend decreases in price because now you have a real world business that's buying up the price on the market. So it isn't just, it's nothing to do with market sentiment. It's got everything to do with the business flourishing and functioning as a real world business. Okay, so we're not there yet. If you look at something like the Binance coin, yeah, look how resilient Binance coin has been. Look how buoyant Binance coin has been. Why has Binance coin been behaved so strong? Because it reflects a real world business. Effectively, this is the currency of the Binance exchange and also of the Binance smart chain. Yeah, so that's why. So even though Bitcoin goes down, look how buoyant and look how strong Binance coin is behaving. Okay, and effectively, you know, just because most of crypto is connected to Bitcoin, it doesn't mean that you can't get tokens which break the correlation. I think Binance is a really strong one. Looking at the price action of Binance, had a very flat correction since the last bull market. This is pretty flat. See that? It's quite flat. It got to a peak of there about 700. It came all the way back down to 187. It wasn't a big drop in value, 73%, not much. And you see now it's reclaimed, it's got back all of the losses. It's reclaimed most of the losses. There aren't many people who have this coin who are underwater. Most people on this coin are comfortably sitting in their profits, and this has got everything to do with their business, their real world business. So I think we're not there. Obviously we're not there yet with TRVL. That future is coming, and right now anyone who's accumulating is extremely early, and we just have to wait for the future. We just have to wait for the future and see what happens and let the future happen. I continue to see posts, Crypto Tony. He's very adamant about no, that's not him, that's a fake one. This is the one. He's very adamant about some kind of AI summer. I see him. Look, AI season fast approaches. We'll share a few of my hottest picks. He obviously hasn't got TRVL in the list, but it doesn't matter. Hey, look at him, AI. So he's very kind of perpetually insistent on some kind of AI future in crypto, and that's what you want to see. You know, a guy who's got a ton of followers talking about AI. If there is some kind of AI summer, then yeah, then maybe we can catch that wave. So with these kind of low liquid tokens, they're only low liquid in the lows. You have to bear that in mind. So we're a small micro cap token, very small market cap. Once we kind of 10x, it's not going to be that illiquid anymore. It's going to be much more liquid. Obviously all tokens, if you compare TRVL to any 15, 16, 17 million market cap token, you're going to get exactly the same illiquidity. Okay, I think TRVL is one of the good ones in that respect. But obviously the higher we go, the better that's going to become. If people are looking for a safe entry, if people are not comfortable with just buying into what they perceive as weakness, that's fine. Like I've said before, just wait until this outer trend line breaks. You'll have to buy at market, and if you want to buy a big position, you'll move the market, you'll push the price up, you know. So it's going to be very difficult to fill a larger position on a break if you're waiting for the break. And so that's probably what will happen. There'll probably be a break, and then you're going to get a lot of people jump in, and you're going to get a really impulsive move. I think it's just always a better strategy to dollar cost average in, and if people are bullish, then I think we want a bullish chart, and to create a bullish chart we need to try and hold the lows. We need to try and defend the lows, but obviously let the market do what it does. I can see that there's still quite a lot of volume coming in on these candles, almost as much volume in the last 12 hours as the previous 12 hours. Not almost as much. That was 2.9 million. This is 1.8. There's nearly 2 million. There was a 2 million volume. It was bears are in control, but you see how the price is struggling to go down. Okay, and now already in the last 12 hours we have pretty much the same volume. The price has only moved down 1.3%. $2 million worth of volume, almost $2 million worth of volume. That equates to $2 million. How much is that equate to at these prices? It's about $100,000 worth of volume just in the last 12 hours and the previous 12 hours on Bybit. You look at KuCoin is usually the one that does quite high volume too. Not much actually. KuCoin has been quite low volume relatively speaking in comparison. Gate, low volume, relatively speaking. Nexi, that was the kind of stupid sell. That's been relatively low. Actually, right now, you can clearly see that Bybit is where the volume is. And Bybit is driving the price, even though MEX probably initiated this sell-off with that crazy sell. It's like all someone had to do was sell it on Bybit and they would have got much better exit because there's more liquidity here. You can clearly see that there's quite a lot of volume coming in and the price is struggling to get down. So let's see what happens. If we can hold this low and if Bitcoin can do its thing, then that's going to be really great. Otherwise, we probably have to see how this pans out and corrects. I don't think this is a head and shoulders pattern. I think this is more likely to be some kind of rounding top. If you're thinking about patterns, to me, this is more of a rounding top than a head and shoulders, simply because we haven't taken the low yet. Usually with a head and shoulders, you need to put in a lower low, then a lower high, and then continue that break. Okay, so I'm not seeing that. So I'm more inclined to think this is more of a rounding top. And you know, in TRVL, it's not uncommon to see rounding tops, rounding bottoms. It seems to be quite a bit of a trend. See here, this is a rounding top here. See that? Broke the neckline and look what happened, rejection and immediately up. So I'd be interesting to see what happens after this if we do break this neckline. Do we immediately go up? You know, I'd be interested to see that. I can't predict what's going to happen. I'm just interested to see. I don't think we're there yet. I mean, let's see. I think the week has to end. We still have this major fib line. It looks like we've lost it, but we haven't back tested it. See, there's been no back test of this line, and the lower we go, the more liquidity there is, the more interest there is for people to pick up this token. I mean, if you're looking at the token now and you're thinking, damn, 5.2, I think 5.2 is a really good price. But imagine if you wake up tomorrow and the price is at 3 cents, do you buy? If it's the 2 cents, do you buy? Of course you do, you know, because it hasn't, you know, we haven't traded there for such a long time. It just means that some crazy people sold and you buy that up, you know. If Tesla tomorrow, their cars are like 50% off, would you buy one? It's the same with anything. If you look on the flights, you're looking for a flight to Tokyo, looking at the prices, you're probably looking at it and they're saying it's like $1,000. You wake up tomorrow and it's like $400 or $500. Do you buy? Of course you do. You buy. Yeah, when you see something reduces in price suddenly, unexpected reduction in value, in price, it's a reduction, it's a discount. And as long as the sentiment is still positive, that's all that really matters. I think on the most part, the sentiment is positive with regards to this token. The wider sentiment is probably a little bit negative, and that's probably what's happening right now. And we just need the sentiment to change. Yeah, like I'm waking up this morning, I'm feeling a little bit bearish. So yeah, my sentiment is bearish. What does that mean? That means I'm not aggressively buying coins because my sentiment is bearish. It reflects, the sentiment has a direct reflection in the way I behave. And so when I see that Bitcoin isn't as strong as I need it to be, then I'm going to hesitate because I'm concerned that we could see lower prices. With low liquidity coins, with low liquid coins like TRVL, that's a golden opportunity because it means you can buy without pushing the price and you can accumulate larger portions of TRVL. If you think about TRVL and the number of tokens in circulation, let me have a look. It says 307 million in circulation. I know for a fact that most of them are not in circulation. So if I go to the Dtravel homepage, have a look at the token. You can see now, oh, I like that. They've done, oh, look at this. This is interesting. Oh, wow, this is new. I've never seen this before. This is exciting. I like seeing exciting things, shiny things. Where are we now? May. So you see, look, so at the end of April, look, 146 is in the community treasury. 160 million is in the growth fund. How does that work? It doesn't even add up. I don't know how this works, honestly. What the hell? I'm a bit confused, actually. I don't know. I have no idea. Let me take a bite of my sandwich while I try and figure this out. Well, look, it's pretty easy. Look, the strategic sale 1 and 2 and 3, the top ones. Oh my god, that was spicy. Excuse me. Um, 25 plus 70 plus 100. What is that? That's 195 million. Is locked. I mean, it's not locked. It's already out. Look at that. It's fit. It's out. So that's in circulation. So that's 195. And according to this, by the end of May, there's going to be another 23 in circulation from the contributors. Okay. So let me just work that out. 195 plus. So that's 218. So 218 million are in circulation, according to this. And then the rest are not in circulation because the rest just go into the Foundation Community Treasury and Growth Fund. And then you do get the contributors over a period of time. So let's say by the end of 25, you're going to have an additional, from where we are now, from 23, it goes from 23 to 60. So it goes from 23. So another 30, 27, 20, another 27 million will come out into circulation. The rest a lot in the Foundation, the Community and the Growth Fund. Now, that's not to say that some of that, the tokens from the Growth Fund doesn't go into circulation because of the rewards. Yeah. But because we're at the beginning of the journey, I imagine that most of that is not in circulation. Like we've only just begun. I'm imagining that most of the Foundation Reserve has to be accessed only by a vote anyway. So really, the only accessible treasuries are the Growth Fund and the Community Treasury. So at the current, based on what I can currently ascertain, 218 or so are in circulation. All right, that's it. So we only really need 200 people to buy 1 million TRVL and take it off the market. That's all we need. Really, it's not that difficult. We just need 200 people to buy 1 million TRVL, the current price. That's about $52,000. I guess that's quite a lot for a lot of people, but we only need 100 people, 200 people to buy 1 million TRVL, and it'd be so illiquid at these prices that it would go up really fast. That's food for thought. Do I have 200 volunteers willing and able to buy 1 million TRVL at these prices? That's a good question. I can't answer that, but I think we're you know, like, I think these drops are illiquid drops. I don't think they're liquid drops. Yeah, so someone is looking to sell and the market's selling, and that's just basically an indication of the lack of liquidity. I'm trying to address this problem. I don't know if the problem has to be solved with market makers, or I don't know. I can't answer. I think there's a real problem that still hasn't been addressed. I'm trying to see how we can address that. Ultimately, I think market makers need to create liquidity for the market, and I can tell you that they're probably not at the moment doing a great job. And so we have to address that issue. If people have the same kind of concern, I think it would be good if people can go into Telegram, yeah, and also post some of their thoughts about this liquidity problem we have. You see this sell yesterday on MEX. This is a real, I think this is problematic. Like, I really do. I don't think this is a job well done on whoever is making the market here. That's 1 million in that candle, and that's basically about $50,000, and the price dropped 21%. I think that's problematic. I find that problematic because it just shows you that the market makers are doing a really poor job at creating and providing liquidity for this market. There has to be a solution, and we have to come together and figure out what the solution is as a DAO. I'm not criticizing anyone. I don't think Dtravel are at fault at all. I just think that we need to brainstorm an actual solution that's going to solve this problem. I don't know what the solution is myself. I know that for the price to drop with a $50,000 volume. That's all it is, really. $50,000 worth of volume caused the price of TRVL to come down 22%. I think that's a problem. Like, no one can look at that and go, that's not a problem. That's a problem. That's a problem that has to be fixed somehow as a matter of priority, because I think that this is the problem that we're experiencing. Why are we getting such a pullback? Is because of, I think it's a very illiquid market. You know, at the moment Bybit is the most liquid, but even with Bybit, with small amounts, we're still able to move the price. I think Dtravel needs to provide liquidity for the market. Yeah, I think there's a large amount of tokens locked away. I think they probably need to unlock some of those tokens and create liquidity for the markets. That's probably what needs to happen. That's what I'm thinking. And so I'm going to have a conversation with them, but it'd be good if anyone's watching me will also raise this issue in the Telegram. Rather than just having all those tokens locked away, why not provide liquidity for the market? Why not create liquidity? Allow people to buy and sell. It's really easy. I mean, it's not putting it in circulation. It's just providing liquidity. That's what I'm thinking. So anyway, we have to see what happens, right? I'm not telling people to catch a falling knife. If you think this is a falling knife, then I'm really not telling you to catch the falling knife. I've always said, let the price settle. Yeah, let the price settle. And many times I've said, usually when you see the price form like little rounding bottoms, that's probably a good time to start buying. So I'm not telling people to catch a falling knife, but if people are bullish, then it'll be better to put limit orders. But if people are just waiting, then wait for the selling to stop. Yeah, so let people stop selling. Yeah, and when you see kind of a little bit of a rounding bottom, yeah, if you want, you can start buying. But again, it causes problems because that's how people buy. People buy with market, and if you don't have follow through to change market structure, then all you do is you fall back. Yeah, and so that's why in circumstances like this, if people are looking to buy, it's hard because you're worried that the price could drop, but it would be better to put limit orders and absorb the selling, yeah, and prevent the sellers from getting the price down any further than they already have. You see on Bybit's the one with the volume, and we're still by a fraction, literally holding a higher low. Is that low going to be taken? I have no idea. I can't tell you if it is or not, but it could be. Look at all that volume. Clearly some people are selling all of their stack. There's a lot of buying and selling going on here. Eventually you'd expect it to end, right? Eventually, look how much volume is. I could probably sit down and calculate this. Yeah, eventually you'd expect this volume to end. There can't be that many more tokens out there. 12 million, 9. These red ones, I'll count these red ones. 12, 9, 21, 25, 4, 5, 35, 55, 65, 75. Yeah. All right. So that's TRVL. Any thoughts or any kind of comments? Feel free to feed back to me. Again, we have to see how the weekly closes. We have to see how the monthly closes. I think all eyes will be on the monthly candle, and of course, everything has got everything to do with Bitcoin. Yeah. Right now, that's what everyone is looking for: Bitcoin to stop being weak. Yeah. And while there was a little bit of strength here, you know, the market isn't stupid. They know that this isn't enough. This price action isn't enough. Now what needs to happen is take out that high. If that happens, I think everything changes. Yeah, that's a change of market structure on the 4-hour time frame. If we go up now on Bitcoin and take out that high at 65.5, then I think people are going to be aggressively buying their altcoins. Yeah, so we just have to wait for that to happen to see strength return to the whole crypto market. All right, so that's TRVL. Looking at the BTC chart, I haven't really looked at it much. What is this? I mean, basically we're in a range. We've always been in a range. I haven't said anything other than that, and it's going up and down. There's lots of like areas of interest where the price is finding support and resistance, but the reality is this is the range, which is higher. We're back at the point of control. Yeah, so we're back at a really good place to buy TRVL. This is like, if you have Bitcoin and you want to buy TRVL, this is basically the right place. The reason why the point of control is the right place, because the point of control will always acts as a magnet. So even if you go down, it will come back up. And usually if it goes up, it comes back down, which you can see, it's clearly. It has acted as support for many weeks. And now we're back at it again. So actually it's a good place to buy TRVL. This is the right place. I can't tell you that the price isn't going down, but looking at the price action, you can see that there's a lower range here. And then we have a higher range here, which we're at the bottom of the higher range. I don't know how far it goes. And maybe there's a little dividing range in the middle here. This is like, we're at the bottom of the middle range. And then there's this lower range, which we haven't actually got back into. We've only been there for an extended period once. Put in a bunch of volume there. It is possible. It's always possible that the price goes down, and we put in a ton of volume here, and the point of control moves to the bottom here, and the value area moves again. It's very possible. Yeah. Eventually, what people are thinking to themselves is, when is alt season? When is this going to go parabolic? When is TRVL going to make me rich? Well, it'll be easy to see. Quite simply, we need to go up, flip the value area high into support, flip the all-time high into support, and head into a price discovery against Bitcoin. Literally, that's how this is where you're going to get higher prices. Yeah, up there. Price discovery against Bitcoin is when the magic begins. And at the moment, we're just in an accumulation range, a multi-year accumulation range. And I'll be honest with you, I think TRVL is looking quite strong against Bitcoin. It doesn't look weak at all. Yeah, I think this is looking quite strong. There's a lot of interest, and we're above the point of control. When I look at other tokens against Bitcoin, I see a lot of weakness. Like when you look at AVA, this is Dtravel. Look, you see, it's considerably weaker. It's underneath the value area. The point of control is much higher. It's considerably weaker. It's failed to get back into the value area. I see that a lot with a lot of coins when you compare them against Bitcoin. Maybe not Solana. Okay, Solana is obviously an exception. There's a few exceptions, I'll be honest with you, so I can't deny that either. But let me just see here if I can see any that come to mind. What is this, 1 inch? So let you see just overall weakness against Bitcoin. I think TRVL has held up quite well. What's this, Alice? Look at that, same. Ape, look at that, exactly the same. Atom, look at that. Is that strong? No, it's not strong, it's weak. You can see the weakness. What's this, Bake? Don't know what it is, but it's weak. Cake is weak in considering it's underneath the point of control. You see TRVL is on top of the point of control. So TRVL is, in my mind, TRVL is stronger than Cake. And also we don't have this problem with Cake where you have all of this trap liquidity which hasn't yet been cleared. What else is there? Let me just have a look. What is this? Casper. Oh, look at that. Crazy weakness. Like I thought it could go up, but it didn't. It went down. I'm not always right. You know, you have these ideas. Actually, the long would have been invalidated. So that was an easy invalidation. You see that it would have been validated quite easily. Again, this is weak. Weakness, weakness, weakness. I think when you're comparing all of these, Crow, look at Crow. What is that like? Again, weakness. It's all weak. All of these tokens are showing weakness. Crow is the token for crypto.com. Weak. Casper, what else is that? Polkadot, look at that. Weak. Nothing is strong. Look at that. ETH, again weak. So when you compare all of these tokens to TRVL, yeah, then actually I don't think this is that weak. I'm not thinking that TRVL is that weak. I'm thinking that of all of these tokens that I'm looking at, for me TRVL is the most one of the better ones. Yeah. And you know, altcoins across the board are just generally quite weak against Bitcoin right now. And that whole situation changes when Bitcoin gets into the price discovery and pumps, and then you have potentially have a future alt season. So I think all in all, TRVL is looking quite strong. We're just back at the bottom of the range at the point of control. For all intents purposes, you can argue that we've gone up. We're now back down. Let's go back up. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm imagining. Let's just range until we can finally figure out how we can break the highs. Okay. If we do go lower, it just means that we're still in the range. You know, like it doesn't mean that we're going to go down. We just, everything is range bound until it's not. So right now, what's the range? Well, that's the range. I don't know. 50% is basically where the point of control is. See that? That's midpoint. That's the top of the range. This is the bottom of the range. There's the value area. We've come back underneath the 236. We haven't yet done that. Oh, we're just about to do that on the USDT chart, but wait for it to close. And we're actually back into the point of control and the value area low. This is actually quite a strong area of support. And so let's just see how that plays out. Like I would never sell here. Like if people are looking to sell, this is not the place to sell. This is actually the place to buy. Of course, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if it's going to go down or up, but this is the right place to buy. Like if you're going to buy, this is the right place. Yeah. And eventually, like I said, we have to get into the top part of the range, flip that into support, then try and fill that. I think we'll fill the top part quite quickly because it came down quite quickly. There isn't really much volume up there. And then you have to flip the top into support for continuation. And that will be our parabolic move. This is our parabolic move. Basically, I think when we flip the value area high into support, then we're looking to begin our parabolic move, because there's not much volume here. The price descended very quickly, so it should ascend very quickly, and then you just flip the top into support, and that's when we fetch higher prices, right? And we just have to wait for that to happen. It's just going to require patience and continuous development of the Dtravel application and everything that that they're building with at Dtravel. A lot of things are still yet to be released, so once that happens, I think we'll be looking at a different situation. Looking at TRVL against ETH, it's pretty much the same, not much difference. I think against ETH it's a little bit more buoyant. See, we haven't even come back to the point of control. It looks like it's a lot stronger against ETH. Exactly the same idea. You just have to get back above the value area, flip it as support, head to higher prices, just flip every level to support, and then you can have a parabolic move against ETH. Probably this will happen when ETH starts pumping too, to be honest with you, and that will be against Bitcoin. You've got a very strong, powerful volume candle here. The price is still within the context of that candle. So for all intents purposes, all of the price action over the last 10, 12 weeks, whatever, has been an inside range bound price action inside that long green gravestone. I think it's a gravestone doji. All right, so that's ETH. Any questions on that? I'm gonna have a bite of my sandwich.